This is price exchange strategy that you can use to trade volatility indices. It's actually something that many of you didn't expect, right? So it's actually just support and resistance, but we're not going to be taking support and resistance as it is, right? You're just going to be flipping it a little bit, right? And we're going to be using zone flips, right? So as we all know, right, support and resistance is, let's say we're going what? We're going up, right? This area over here, this is what? This is a resistance, right? So we're not going to be using the conventional method of what entering when the market pulls back to this one, to this area, right? And you anticipate that it's likely going to form an M, right? This don't usually work. These types of setups when you're using the RSI don't usually work. And so what we want to see in this support and resistance strategy is, most of you know this concept, right? So I'm sure everyone knows this concept, but it's actually the easiest way that you can make money when you are trading indices or not on volatility. We are trading indices using price action, right? So right over here, right, when we've got a pullback, what we are going to be anticipating is we want to trade with the trend, right? So what we are going to anticipate is that if we break past this point over here, right, we are going to be marking this area, and we are going to be waiting for the market to pull back to this area over here, and that's when we are going to be getting our entries, right? So we are going, this is what we call a zone flip area, right? Because it was our previous resistance, now it is acting as our support, right? So I want you to look carefully at this and watch to the end so that you get the hang of it and you see enough examples for you to try this strategy on your own, right? So right over here, what we just want to do is, first of all, want to trade with the trend, right? So we just trade with the where the previous break-up structure was. That's where we just trade, right? So in this example over here, we broke structures to the upside here, and a little bit something over here, but this I wouldn't consider it as a break-up structure, right? So we broke structure over here, and we continue breaking structure, creating higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, right? So we know that we are in an uptrend, right? So right over here, let me just share with you. I think I shared this already in my videos, but if let's just share with you this why this area wasn't respected, right? So right over here, as you can see, the market was going down. This is another zone flip area, right? But as you can see, when the market is pulling back to that area, it is still has a lot of momentum, right? So this area is likely not going to be respected, right? So what we want to see when the market is pulling back is these types of patterns over here, these types of consolidating patterns, right? So as you can see, this is a zone flip area over here, right? Because this was the last high that was broken, right? So want to see the market starts to consolidate, giving us red and green candles mixed, right? So this shows that there's a slowdown momentum, and as you can see, we've got something like a triangle in there, right? So those are the setups that those are the types of pullbacks that we want to see that usually work, right? So you can also, the market can also respect these types of setups, but they're not guaranteed, right? So if you want to increase your probability, right, you have to wait for these types of pullbacks, right? So over here, how are we going to be doing this, right? So as I said, we are going to be marking our broken support or resistance levels, right? So over here, we mark this area over here, and this one was respected. Why? Because the market broke past this area over here. Let me shift it to a little bit up, right? So this was the area, right? So I don't want you to treat this. I'm using my horizontal lines here, but don't get me wrong. I want you to treat these areas as I want you to treat these levels as areas, not as just zones, right? So as areas or zones, not just a single level, right? So what we are doing here is it's better if you use this box if you are likely going to forget, right? So you just mark anything, right? But you also include your horizontal line just to know that this is a zone flip that you have marked, right? So when you see that consolidating pattern, then you mark that zone, then you anticipate that the market is likely going to reverse. So that's what we are just going to be doing. We'll be dragging our resistance levels over here. So this was a resistance because the market started pulling back over here a little bit, right? And when we've got a breakout, we come back and retest, we respected it, and when we come back again to retest that area, we respected that area again, right? So over here, the market starts consolidating, maybe because we've got another resistance level over here, though this one is not the types of resistance that we are using, right? So we wait for that area to be broken so that we start looking for our entries again, right? And as you can see, I don't think the market came back again to test those areas, right? So over here, right, the market didn't pull back to this area over here, so we are not going to be entering. We've got no more entries over in this area over here, right? So let's shift, let's go back a little bit, maybe blah 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 TOA. Let's just start over here. Yeah, let's start over here, right? So over here, as you can see, creating lower lows, right? We're breaking structure over here, creating lower lows, lower highs, lower low, broke past that, then we create another lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high, blah blah blah. Then we know that we're in a downtrend, right? So the moment that we know that we're in a downtrend is when we broke past this area over here. So we've got something like, as you can see, I want you to treat this as a zone. As you can see, we've got, it's testing what is still the same zone from here, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 touches to that area over there. And so when we broke past that over here, we know that we're in a downtrend, right? So over here, the market didn't come back to test this area, but if it came back to test this area, most probably that area would have respected, because it was a major support level. So if it gets broken, it means that this resistance is also going to be strong, but the market didn't give us the pleasure of pulling back to that area. So right over here, when it gets broken, we mark the next level right over here. It doesn't pull back again, so we don't get another entry over there. Right over here now, the market pulls back to that area, we get our entry, right? Then we mark this level next, right? And as you can see, the market pulls back to that area over here, and we get what? Another entry, right? Then this was also an area, but it wasn't respected. As you can see, no strategy is 100% because this was a zone flip area. We broke past that, we came back and we just gave one candle, and then we continued going up. So this one would have hit our stop loss. But as you can see, this strategy just works. You can get about 3 entries per day if you're using the 5-minute time frame. Today I'm just using the 15-minute time frame, so that I just rushed through this video, but you can use the 5-minute time frame also to get more entries, and you can trade any pair, even currencies. You're using this strategy. It's the simplest strategy that you can find. And so over here again, where this zone flip area gets respected, if it had been broken, maybe we would have marked these zone flip areas over there, but this one is what we are using because this was the last lower low that was formed. So these ones are just in the middle. So this one is the first that we have to look at before we get that break in market structure, right? So over here again, we mark this area over here, right? The market didn't pull back exactly to that area. It just missed. Maybe it just tested this area over here and it continued. But as for me, I would have been waiting for it to come back to this area. So this one would have missed me. Then I'll mark this zone flip area again. It tested 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4, 5 times again. And then as you can see, when the market put back again here, it just created what? It just created an M, an ugly M. Yeah, this one is ugly, right? So it's so like in BTMM we call this it's a 1-2 formation, right? So it's a 1-2 formation, meaning we've got one leg here and 2 legs over there, right? So that gives us confirmation that we are going to continue going down, right? You keep on marking what your zone flip areas. Right over here, we've got a support here, a support there. It gets broken, retest. So as you can see, you can get very multiple entries using this strategy. We've got a zone flip area over here. It gets tested over here, continues going down. You just have to continue. You just have to move just one single line, one single resistance. That's just what you are moving, right? So over here, we've got another zone flip area over here, right? It gets tested again, and you keep on moving that area, right? That zone. Right over here, we've got another zone flip area tested 1, 2 times, pull back to that area, and you enter again. So it's very, very simple, guys. It's very just simple as that. Then over here, yeah, this one we didn't pull back to it. We pulled back to it later over here, but as you can see, we broke past it because the market structure had already shifted. We are now in an uptrend, right? So we also have to trade with the trend, as I mentioned earlier, right? You just mark your zone, and as you can see over here, this was the last being respected. It respected just for a little while, and then the market broke structure, right? And after that breaking market structure, we are no longer looking for buy setups. Rather, we'll be marking forward for we are no longer looking for sell setups. We're looking for buy setups, right? Over here, market didn't give us the liberty to pull back to this area, where then we mark this area over here because this was the resistance. Then we continue going up, mark this area again, put back to it, and respected. Mark this area, put back to it, it respected. You can use your box for this so that you treat these areas as zones and not just as single lines, right? So over here again, we come back and we tested this area 1, 2 times, right? So that's just what you have to do in order for you to trade trade zone flips. And this is actually the simplest strategy that you can use if you are just using one line and moving it over and over in any direction.